In December 2019, China notified the World Health Organization of several cases of human respiratory illness, a disease later named COVID-19. The virus causing this disease is known as severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. The disease spreads through small droplets that are expelled from the nose or mouth when a person with COVID-19 coughs or exhales. Therefore, standing close to someone who is infected can put you at risk. These droplets can land on your hand and be transmitted through something as simple as a handshake, if afterwards you touch your eyes, nose, or mouth, the so-called T-zone. The virus is known to survive on different types of surfaces, so touching these contaminated surfaces and then touching your T-zone brings a high risk of infection. What we know so far: the coronavirus is spherical in shape, and its genetic material is encapsulated by different types of proteins. Some of the key structural ones are spike S protein, the most prominent feature of coronaviruses from where they get their name, then M, or membrane protein, and the so-called envelope protein.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Nazmul Shahid, lecturer in physics, Social Cat College. Due to corona pandemic, you stay home. That's why we take your class in online. And I believe that you are safe and sound in your home, and inshallah we will meet again. Today I discuss chapter number 1, that is physical world and measurement. And by the end of today's class, kids, you will be able to: number 1, explain nature of the physical world. Number 2, explain scope and astonishing contribution of physics. Number 3, explain space, time, and mass. And last, explain fundamental principle of measurement. No more delay. First, we discuss what is physics. The branch of science which deals with matter and energy is called physics. The main objectives of physics are to establish and relations between matter and energy, and to express it quantitatively on the basis of observation, experimentation, and analysis. Arena of physics. Physics is the key of all science. It is the fundamental branch of science because the fundamental of all other subjects is based on the principle of physics. For example, the principle of conservation of energy is a basic principle of physics used to explain the wide range of science, starting from the structure of atom to weather forecasting, starting from engineering to medical science, astronomy to oceanology, biology to physiology. The instruments of physics are used. Branch of physics is mechanics, heat and thermodynamics, sound, optics, electricity and magnetism, solid state physics, atomic physics, nuclear physics, quantum physics, and electronics. Why will we study physics? Physics unearths the mystery of nature. Physics describes the law of nature, develop the technology results from the proper application of fundamental law of physics. Study of physics is a perfect human training. Physics teaches how to carry out observation. Groundonial development in physics. Thales is famous for the prediction regarding solar eclipse. Pythagoras is a memorial name in the history of science. Greek philosopher Democritus gave the idea that matter consists of indivisible units. Greek scientist Archimedes discovered the principle of lever and the law of upward force acting on the bodies immersed in liquid and was able to determine the impurity in matter. The Arabs were also particularly advanced in science, mathematics, astronomy, chemistry, and medical science. During this time, the contribution of Lb al-Haytham and al-Hazen may be particularly mentioned for their theories of light, a branch of physics. Bartholomew and other earlier scientists believed that the eyes itself sent light rays to see an object. Al-Hazen contradicted this view and asserted that we see an object because the light rays from the object fall on our eyes. Experiments with magnifying glass brought him near to the modern theory of convex lens. Al-Masudi wrote an encyclopedia on the history of nature in which the name of windmill was first mentioned. At present, many countries of the world produce electricity by using these windmills. Roger Bacon was the pioneer of the experimental scientist method. At the end of the 15th century, Leonardo da Vinci made a model of airplane by observing the act of flying of birds. Dr. Gilbert is unforgettable for his extensive research and theory on magnetism. Planes of Germany discovered the law of refraction of light. Huygens reviewed the mention of pendulum, developed the mechanical device of clocks, and invented the wave theory of light. Robert Hooke strove to find out the elastic properties of body. Robert Boyle's contribute experiment experiments to find out the properties of gases at different pressure. Von Craig invented air pump. Romer measured the velocity of light by the studying ellipse of a satellite of Jupiter, but none of his contemporary scientists believed that the velocity of light would be so high. Kepler represent three laws of general mathematical explanation of concept of solar concentrated theory of Copernicus. Kepler's success was based on the assumption of an elliptical orbit opposite to the conventional circular orbit. He verified the validity of his mathematical law about the orbits of the planets with the data collected through observed by his teacher Pythagoras. In concept of modern scientist method was made by famous Italian scientist Galileo. He showed for the first time that the observation, experimentation, and definition of physical quantity simultaneously and the determination of relation among them are the basic fundamental of scientific works. Galileo introduced the scientific trends of developing mathematical theory and verifying the authenticity through experiment. Newton gave a complete shape. Galileo defined discipline, motion, acceleration, time, etc., and determined relation among them. Consequently, he discovered the law of falling bodies and established the fundamental of statistics. Law Newton's by his Versatile genius discovered mechanics and the three famous law of mechanics, the law of universal, that is gravitational law, and he also made contribution for optics, heat and sound. He invented calculus, a new branch of mathematics. The discovery and invention for the 18th and 19th century proved that the way of Europe industrial evolution, the steam engine of James Watt played a vital role for industrial evolution. Hence, Christian orchestrate this demonstrate the magnetic effect of current. This discovery led Michael Faraday and Lenz towards discovering the fact that magnetic effect produce electric current. In fact, this was a discovery of the process of converting mechanical energy into electrical energy. In James Maxwell demonstrated the light is one kind of electromagnetic wave. He established the electromagnetic theory by combining electric field and magnetic field. Similar kind of radiation was also discovered and produced by Hertz. Using the same kinds of waves in Marconi discovered the method of sending signal through Morse code too far of distance. Before him, Sir Jagadish Chandra Bosu was able to send energy from one place to another through electromagnetic wave. In the way radio communication was developed by the end of 19th century, Rosen discovered X-ray and Beckler discovered the radioactivity of uranium. In the 19th century, the most important field in physics, Max Planck discovered quantum theory of radiation and Albert Einstein invented the theory of relativity. These two theories not only play at a vital role but also give the previous experimental result but also made some prediction which experimentally verified. Einstein, that is called Rutherford Gibbs or Niels Bohr gives the concept of electrons layer in the hydrogen atom are very important steps of atomic physics. The next important discovery was made in 1938. At that time, Otto Hahn and Schumann found out the nuclear are fissionable. Due to fission, a nuclear large mass number split into two nuclei approximately equal to the mass and part of the mass is converted into energy. This is the very important discovery in the sense of science and that must be related to the nuclear physics. In this century, quantum theory of relativity etc. was developed and Sir Jagadish Chandra Bosu, professor of physics, University of Dhaka, made important contribution of theoretical physics. He demonstrated a comparatively correct from the Planck's quantum theory. His theory is a kind of Bose-Einstein theory as a recognized of his contribution on kind of elementary particle is named after him is called boson. Three Nobel lectures that is physics professor Abdul Salam in Pakistan and Slud Gasolo and Winbark United States made the outstanding contribution by discovering weak electric force by inferring the elementary particles as a electric unifield field theory. So this is the main contribution of the scientist. Now I say something about coronavirus. You must stay at home. Don't touch your face and nose without washing your hand. By this way, you must be wash your hands by spending 20 seconds and avoid close contact to flu-like syndrome persons. Now, the concept of space-time in physics. In science, particularly in physics, the concept of space and time is very important. We need the concept of space and time to be described any event because without it, we cannot get clear idea about space and time of the event. The concept of space is an walk from an incident time to locate the position of an object and a space occurred by it. Similarly, the concept of time is necessary to understand the consequence and duration of the event. And Ecoslates and Galileo's concept. Ecoslates was first of the present the geometrical concept of space. Galileo in his book Statics used to space and time in the law of motion and acceleration. Those space and time give become very important quantities in mathematical quantities. Newton's concept, the concept of space and time, has become more clear and taken quantitatively from through Newtonian mechanics. Space is a three-dimensional expression in Newtonian or classical physics. Space has no beginning or end. It has timeless extension. Space can be divided into identified small parts. Space is continuous. Space is homogeneous as regions of an space as identical. Space is individual. It is independent. So all of the events take places and spread within the space. Space is near influenced by any object or event. Like a space, time is also independent. So passage of time cannot be changed space. Fundamental quantities of a unit, that is know that first one is length, symbol is L, unit is meter, symbol is small m. Next one is mass, capital M, kg and kg. Time, capital T, second and S. Temperature, theta or T, Kelvin and K. Current electricity I, that is ampere A. Luminous intensity LV, candela and CD. Amount of substance N, mole and this mole. Dimension. Any physical quantity is a combination of one or more fundamental quantities. So any physical quantities may be expressed as the produce of one or more fundamental quantities of different powers. The power of fundamental quantities in a physical quantities is called its dimension. Dimension analysis. Dimension analysis is a good way to check the constituency of mathematical relations. A dimension refers to the physical nature of the property. It's mass, length, time. Is the basic units. For all physical equations, the dimension of both sides must be matched. Note that the reverse is not true. Not all equations that have matching dimensional have physical meaning. That is F is equal to ma or the F is equal to half into ma. Both past dimension analysis in half is dimensionless, but only F is equal to ma has physical meaning with his SI unit. Types of quantities. Many things can be measured: distances, speed, energy, time, force, etc. They are related to one another. Speed is equal to distance by time. Choose three basic quantities: length, mass, and time, that I discussed in previous slide. Define other units in terms of this. SI units for three basic quantities. Many possible choices for the units of length, mass, and time. And in 1960, standard bodies control and define systematic international units, that is SI units: length meter, mass kilogram, and time second. The SI length unit meter in the France Revolution is defined in 1792. 1 meter is equal to xy by this is 10 and 000 by 000. By the way, we can define it as 1 meter, and 1 meter is equal to about 3.28 feet, and 1 kilogram is equal to kilometer is equal to, we know that 1000 meter and dot dot dot. Kind defined 1 meter, the distance traveled by light in vacuum during a second of 1 by 299,792,458 seconds. Is a unit of second. 1 second is defined as atomic clock. The time taken 9,192,631 700 oscillation of the lights emitted by a 133 cesium atom. Definition unit precisely in a science important for an example GPS. This clock will either gain or lose a second in 20 million years. The SI units of kilograms, 1 kilograms, the mass of a specific platinum or alloy to keep a international bureau of weights and measure near Paris. And I show some of the length, so some of the times, and some of the kilograms. And it is not necessary to memorize, but for better understand, I give this data to you. Other units systems, it's US customized system, food, uh, pound and second, CGS is gram and second, and I know that the converting the units is not necessary to you, but more understand, I give the data to you. And some knowledge based question in this regards. Number one, what is meaning of physical world? What define physical health? What is the name of a representation of the physical world? What is the an example of scientific method? What is the benefit of physical education? And what is the theorems in physics? What is fundamental theories? And competition based questions, how does physics help improve our lives? How does physics help the world? Why physics important for medicine? How physics change our life? And some MCQ, what is the key of all science? We know that the answer is physics. How many branches of physics are there? There is strain. Who is famous for prediction for solar eclipse? Thales. Who give the concept of solar center theory? Copernicus. And who has contributed to geometric theory and vibration particles? This Pythagoras. And this is the creative questions in this chapter, but not to relate these topics, because boys, you know that this today's class is not very important, because no more question is coming of today's topics, but this question is related to this chapter. So later uh, class we discuss about these topics, but I give this question earlier. Rashid said that the length of a pencil is 11 centimeter. When he went to the teacher, he instructed him to use a vernier scale. Its 20 vernier scale division is equal to 19 smallest division of the main scale, and the smallest division of the main scale is 1 millimeter. Main scale reading is 11 centimeter, and the vernier superposition is 9. Rashid measured to correct length by the vernier scale. Question 1. What is vernier constant? Which invention played an important role in the industrial revolution of Europe? And determine the vernier constant. And last one, what was the wrong measurement of Rashid? And the question session, and I am sure that it is no more important today. But if you have any question or query, ask me after the finishing the today's lessons. I will reply you in dashboard. And with this hope, I Nazmur Sheikh thank you to all, and Khuda Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.